Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai haere mai to this session from Dentons. Ko tēnei tāku mihi ki ngā mana whenua o te rohe nei, ko ngā tuahuriri, ka mihi hoki au ki ngā tohu o te rohe nei. So that's just a brief acknowledgement and greeting to the mana whenua here in Christchurch, which is ngā tuahuriri and the important landmarks of this region. Pulavanaka, talofa lava, malawa lele, and warm Pacific greetings. My name's Nell, my pronouns are she and her, and I'm a career consultant with the UC Careers team who has organised all of these events with a lot of support from the UC events team. At UC Careers, we can help you with everything career related, so everything from deciding what your dream job might be, through to helping you secure employment either while you're studying or once you've finished your degree. So we've got this 40-minute session today from Dentons, and we'll have about 10 minutes at the end for questions. But if any questions come up, do feel free to pop them in the chat as we go along, and we can refer back to them at the end. So I'm really looking forward to hearing about Dentons today. So thank you to Tash, Sam, and the team from Dentons.
Thanks, Nell. Firstly, thanks everyone for coming along today. So my name is Tash Archpo-McLean. I'm the Senior HR Advisor at Dentons Kensington Swan, based in our Wellington office. With me today is Sam Tibbetts, our HR Coordinator. Sam's based in Auckland, and we have Lauren Royers, an IP Senior Associate, and Lucy Tustin, one of our recent Summer Clerks. It is a pleasure to be here to talk to you about our Summer Clerk recruitment process, and shortly you'll hear from Lauren about her career journey and Lucy about her experience as a Summer Clerk. So we have an interactive session planned today. So to start us off, it'd be great if you could start by scanning the QR code on the screen on your phones, and that will take you to the website Menti, or alternatively, you can visit the website on the hyperlink on screen and enter that code. Just give you a little bit more time to get that sorted. Cool. So before we kick into telling you a bit more about us and our Summer Clerk recruitment process, we were wanting to hear your thoughts. So using your phones, we want to hear what you think, what the future would look like without the internet. So what would happen if the internet ceased to exist? So if you could start putting in your comments on Menti, that'd be awesome. We're keen to see what you've got to say. I could start us off anyway. So for some of us, we may have never lived in a time without the internet, so it's difficult to imagine a time where the internet would cease to exist. For me personally, no internet would mean no online shopping. Perhaps that would be good for my wallet, but it would mean I can't access some great products overseas. But in all seriousness, really, in reality, it would also mean I can't do many aspects of my role, including recruitment and research, for example. Great, I can see some comments coming on. Yep, not able to perform your job. Social communications would be cut, exactly. Less flexibility in a global pandemic, absolutely. Slower communication, more face-to-face communication, yep, information sharing much harder, and yeah, hard to keep in touch with family overseas. That's awesome. Thanks everyone for sharing your thoughts. So the reason we ask this is our vision is to be the law firm of the future. And as part of this, we challenge our people to be innovative and come up with new ways of working. In February of 2020, our New Zealand law firm, Kensington Swan, combined with Dentons, the world's largest law firm, making us part of a global community of nearly 20,000 lawyers across 77 countries countries. We have lawyers all across the world. In New Zealand, however, we are nationally run, but we have the ability to tap into resources and networks globally, meaning we get the best of both worlds. We are challenging ourselves to go from the largest law firm to the leading law firm, and we want to challenge what the future of law looks like. To do this, we challenge the status quo and deliver innovative solutions while never compromising on quality or professionalism. Now, here is our HR team. So these are the people who you'll have contact with if you do go through our Summer Clerk recruitment process. So obviously, Sam and I are on screen there. Sam will be talking very shortly. And we've also got Pip Kessler, who's an HR business partner in our Auckland office, and our HR director, Emma Gibbons, based in the Wellington office.
Cool, thanks Tash. I'm Sam, as Tash has just mentioned, and I am the HR coordinator at Dentons, Kensington, Swan. I have actually just graduated myself, so about this time last year was in the same boat as all of you, thinking about what I might like to do after I finish my studies, and I understand that whilst it can be very exciting, it can also be quite overwhelming. So very keen to be here today to give you guys a little bit more information and hopefully help to kind of ease that overwhelm a little bit. I work in the Auckland office, but I have oversight of both of our offices and am very involved with our summer clerks and grads. So you'll probably be in touch with me over the course of the year if you decide to come through our summer clerk recruitment process. After Tasha's wonderful intro to our presentation, I'm just going to give you guys a bit of an overview of what the rest of the presentation will look like before we kick into it. I will talk a little bit about who we are, what we do, who our people are, and within that touch on our practice groups, which will give you a bit of an idea of the work that's available at Dentons and the opportunities that you might be able to participate in, even at summer clerk level. We will then hear from the lovely Lauren about her experience working at Dentons. Lauren actually started with us as a law grad and is now a senior associate, which is an amazing achievement. So very excited to hear from her about what her experience has been like throughout that process. I will then go into a little bit of detail about what our recruitment process looks like, and also touch briefly on what you can expect to experience as a summer clerk. But then we have an expert in the field in my lovely friend Lucy, who will be able to tell us a little bit more about what her experience was like in the summer just been. And then we will have some time for questions at the end, as Nell mentioned. We're actually going to start with a video, which is a very cool video that features some of our junior solicitors from the Auckland office and touches on all of those points actually. I will just ask you, Tash, to confirm when you can see my video screen.
Yep.
Yep, cool. And I might just test the audio in here. Awesome.
Yep.
Challenges, seeing the future of law in a new way. In early 2020, we combined with Dentons, the world's largest law firm, making us part of a global community.
Dentons Kensington Swan is a firm steeped in heritage, but with a vision of a different future, and we are looking for challengers to join us in this journey.
As a firm, we believe in being in and of the community. We are passionate about making a difference in Aotearoa and across the world. This is your opportunity to help take us from largest to leading, from now to next.
Working at Dentons Kensington Swan means you get direct mentoring from some of the leading legal minds in New Zealand, as well as access to global skills in talent development, diversity, innovation and business development.
Summer clerks work with us from mid-November until mid-February. You will start with an orientation to help you get to know the firm and our work, and you'll then experience firsthand our reputation for providing quality legal work to summer clerks.
Our summer clerks work on a variety of exciting projects, including takeovers, court hearings, and multi-million-dollar disputes. You will be involved in researching novel and contentious points of law, writing opinions, and meeting with clients.
Our Summer Clerk program is focused on providing you with ways to challenge yourself, give you opportunities to break tradition, and assist your team to achieve results and grow professionally.
But it's not just about doing legal mahi. It's also being a part of our team and building networks to shape and define what law looks like next.
You will be assigned a partner, a buddy, to help you with day-to-day questions and concerns, and a great professional team to support you over your summer at the firm.
The entire Dentons Kensington Swan team and our global network will be right behind you to head start a great career.
Challenges?
Accepted.
Awesome. I hope that was enjoyable. I love that video, not only because it's super informative, but also because, as I mentioned, the stars of the show are actually some of our junior team members here in the Auckland office, who you may have the opportunity to interact with and meet along our Summer Clerk recruitment process if you do get involved with that. And if that is the case, please make sure to mention their great job in that video, because they all get very embarrassed about it, but I think it is a wonderful video and they all did very well. Moving on, I'll just provide a little bit of information about the firm, our numbers.
You might have seen videos like this before.
Sorry.
But here
About our numbers, our practices, etc. And then I think we'll hand over to Lauren and Tash to talk about Lauren's experience. So this is just a brief overview of our numbers and our size. We are roughly 195 people across our 2 offices, including 35 partners. We have 22 partners in Auckland and 13 in Wellington. And I think personally, this is a great size for a firm. It's big enough that there's a diverse range of people and work to get involved in, but small enough that I really do feel like you get the opportunity to interact and engage with everyone. I have only been here for a few months and I feel like I know most people on a reasonably personal level. So definitely really rate the size of the firm and enjoy the interaction. Our 35 partners and their teams work across our 9 practice groups. We split our practice groups up into 2 different areas, advisory and advocacy. When I started here, one of the law grads explained these 2 areas to me as advisory is the left side of the office and advocacy is the right side of the office. But I think I'm slowly coming to learn there's a little bit more between them than that. Advisory teams essentially are our teams that advise our clients on matters in a more future thinking way, so sort of before the issue arises, and our advocacy team advocates for our clients once the issue's kind of arisen. Obviously a lot more complicated than that and very dependent on the client and the work that's there, but that's a general sense of it. Under our advisory side, we have our private wealth team, which is largely Auckland based, our banking and financial markets teams in both offices, and our corporate and commercial and real estate teams in both offices. And then in our advocacy area, we have our employment teams in both offices, our IP team, which is largely in the Auckland office, but there is also opportunities in the Wellington office, our litigation, construction, and environment and planning teams, which all work quite nationally across both offices. Yeah, with that in mind, shall I pass over to you, Tash and Lauren, to have a chat about Lauren's time at Dentons?
Awesome, thanks, Sam. So as I mentioned, we have Lauren Royers here with us today. Now, Lauren is a Canterbury alumni as she works as a senior associate in the IP team in Auckland. So Lauren, we're keen to ask you some questions to find out a bit more about your law career. And if you'd like to share anything at the end, we'll have some time for that. So to start off, why did you choose to work for Dentons Kensington Swan, and what keeps you here?
Sure, happy to be here, Tash. So as has been mentioned, I graduated from the University of Canterbury back in 2014. And part of the process, and I love my time there, and I loved the culture and the people and all the different initiatives you could be involved in at the university. So after my time there, I was looking for a firm where I enjoyed the people, I enjoyed the culture, and got to work on really interesting and challenging novel issues. So one of the big reasons why I joined at the time Kensington Swan was the culture and the people that I met. Every interview that I went with at Kensington Swan, I was meeting really friendly, engaging, just really lovely people. And I just really responded to the culture here. And that's been completely true of my experience here. Some of my best friends have been that I've made through work here. So I really enjoyed that about the firm. I also really enjoy the strong female presence at the firm. We've got one of the highest percentages of female partners. And I think it is the highest percentage of female partners out of the big firms. So I think that's really representative and is a much more even split than some of the other big firms. And I think that creates a really great environment to be in. I also think there's really great opportunities at the firm. We have smaller but more perfectly formed teams, I think is the line. But our practice areas are a little bit more specialized, and you do get the opportunity to work on fantastic client matters and really interesting novel areas of law. And you get to do that from the moment that you start the team. So you're certainly not being dished out filler work sort of thing. And I know that I have friends at other firms that had those sorts of experiences. So as I've continued at Dentons, and I've now been here for 7-8 years, I've lost track, which is never a good sign, but what keeps me here is those sorts of opportunities. We've got to work for some fantastic clients. I get to work with leading lawyers in the field on a daily basis, and we get to surround ourselves with our friends and people that we enjoy spending that time with.
Thanks, Lauren. That's awesome. And what was it that sparked your interest in a law career?
Sure. I've always loved English. I've always loved debating. At the University of Canterbury, I was involved in the Debating Society. I was involved in Model UN. I was involved with Law for Change. So all those sorts of clubs that really push you towards a legal career, and particularly a more of an advocacy-based career, which is where I've ended up in. I love problem solving. I love helping our clients solve issues, and I love helping them develop and bring new products, new ideas to market. And a lot of that is, as has been mentioned, I have specialty in IP, so lots of more emerging technologies and trends, and staying on top of that. Things like NFTs to greenwashing to social influence and marketing, that sort of thing. So it's really exciting to get to be involved with clients as they take on the world.
And what interests you most about your area of practicing law?
Sure. So as I said, IP is my specialty, and I'm very biased, but I think it's one of the best specialties. We get to full service sort of type of work. So everything from really advisory sort of branding, protection, claims, pre-launching of products or services into the market, through to high court proceedings. So it's an advocacy and intellectual property disputes. So I really see that full range of IP issues come across my desk. And that means that no 2 days are ever the same, which is fantastic. There's always a new interesting case to be thinking about, and often creating new law in the process, which is really fantastic. Last year, my partner and I represented the former Prime Minister Helen Clark in an IP office dispute with a man that was trying to trademark Auntie Helen, but had no connection to the esteemed Auntie Helen, and was successful in that, but also created new law in the process. So that's the sort of really interesting work that we get to do. So IP is also a really global area of law. And as we've talked about, Dentons is a global firm. So on a day-to-day basis, we're talking with our colleagues in Canada, in the UK, in the US, and in Australia. And that's a really exciting part of, I think, about IP. And a lot of the rules and laws about IP do translate across jurisdictions.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. I really appreciate you sharing that. If anyone does have any questions for Lauren, can you put them in the chat, and we'll make sure that we cover those off at the end of the session. But before we move on, is there anything else you wanted to add, Lauren?
Nothing in particular, I didn't think, but just that I had a fantastic time at the University of Canterbury, and excited to be here and to speak to you all.
Awesome. Thank you.
Just second that. Thank you so much, Lauren, for sharing that. Super interesting and nice to hear. And I can confirm that as soon as I asked Lauren to do this, she said that the University of Canterbury was a great university. So just confirm that for you all. I'm going to talk to you now a little bit about what our Summer Clerk process is going to look like for our Summer Clerk roles that will be available at the end of this year. Our applications for these roles are opening in about a week's time, so very soon. So we've got this little graphic here, which our amazing graphic designer put together for us, that essentially lays it out, and I'll take you through it. As mentioned, applications are going to open next Thursday at 12 p.m. on the 10th of March. They will be open until Monday, the 28th of March at 12 p.m. And to reiterate, these are 4 Summer Clerk roles joining us at the end of this year. My team, my HR team, are going to be going around universities, doing as much as we can to share information about this program throughout the month of March. Obviously, we're here today, but very happy for you to contact any of us, post this session if you have any further questions or would like to discuss anything further. I did forget to mention before that I know that things like the practice areas and what work is available is probably something of great interest. So if you do want to discuss that further, very happy to do so. And there's also a lot of information on our website. But back to this, as the applications come through, we'll be going through them. And the second stage of our recruitment process is going to be a video interview, which we will start to look into in early April. And those are the type of interviews that you do online. You've probably done some before, where you get a question on the screen and you respond and record yourself responding. So it's like an interview, but without someone on the other end. And that'll be the second stage to allow us to get to know all of you a little bit better and kind of assess your fit with the firm a little bit more. Then if you do progress through that stage, you would be invited in early May to do a first stage interview with 2 of our partners. So we're just getting that all organised now, and our partners are super excited to meet all of you in early May and chat with you and see how you'd kind of fit in with the firm. Post that, we would do second stage interviews about a week later. These are less of an interview and more of an opportunity for you to meet some of the people at the firm. So the format that we tend to go with, and obviously this is dependent on COVID-19 situation at the time, but we invite the candidates that proceed to this stage into the office to have a coffee with one of the partners and a couple of our senior solicitors and associates, just to really give you an opportunity to see kind of what Dentons is like and whether you think that the firm would be a good fit for you, and whether the people are the kind of people that you want to be surrounding yourself with, and ask any questions. And then we are intending to make offers on 13th of May. All throughout this recruitment process, we will assign you a buddy who will be one of our junior team members. So it might be one of our law graduates who actually started this week, or one of our junior solicitors. So they'll be there to answer any questions and kind of support you along the way, which I think will be really nice. And then we just kind of zoom all the way to November. But I mean, in practice, we'll definitely be in touch with you between those two steps. It won't be complete silence, but there'll be touch points there. One thing I do want to mention is that we do a Summer Clerk series in about September, October, where we'll have people from each practice group come and talk to you a little bit more about what each practice does, just to give you an idea of where you might be interested in being placed throughout the summer. You will have the opportunity to let us know where you would like to go. And so I think it's really important to have the information about each practice group before making those decisions. You'll join us in late November. We do a rotation system for our Summer Clerk. So you would be in one practice group from when you join in late November until Christmas. And then you sort of going around the corner here, you get a break over Christmas and New Year's, which is a paid break, which is super awesome, and a nice chance to kind of reflect on your first 4 weeks working full-time at a law firm and take a bit of a break. And then you come back after Christmas into your second team, your second practice area, and stay there until the end of your summer clerkship in mid-February. We have cool feedback processes and opportunities for you to ask people for feedback and get that feedback and be mentored, etc. throughout those 2 rotations. And then we make offers for law graduate positions. So this would be, if you're summer clerking over the summer, we would be looking to make an offer for you to return as a law graduate in 2024. We do that at the end of February. That's a bit of an overview of the process. I know that was a lot of information. If anyone has any questions now, happy to answer them, but also happy to answer later on. I will take silence as there's no questions just yet, and move on to this slide. This is a little bit of a theoretical overview of what you can expect of your experience as a summer clerk, but very soon I will bring Luce into the conversation because she might have a little bit more to add. But essentially the key kind of draw cards for me for that summer clerk program are, it's a great opportunity to build connections. You will come in with your cohort. We had 9 in Auckland, the summer just been, and 7 in Wellington. So a nice group of people to kind of be doing this with and to experience this with. You get your buddies, which will likely be a law grad, one of our law grads that started this week. So they'll be about a year into their career when they become your buddy, and you have your teams obviously as well. Can 100% vouch for there being so many opportunities to have great social interactions and lots of cool social events. As Lauren touched on, you definitely make great connections in the firm, and yeah, just really enjoyable being around everyone. Our rotation system is pretty cool. You get to go through 2 practice groups, which gives you, I guess, a more diverse experience and the opportunity to try out different areas of work. All of our partners and senior team members love having the summer clerks come on board and getting involved in their development and mentoring them. And I guess actually that just kind of goes along with the whole team. So the culture is just really great. And in terms of practical experience, one thing that our summer clerks all mentioned at the end of the summer just been was that they were exposed to a lot more practical and interesting work than they were kind of expecting. So really pleasing to hear that. With that said, I will bring Luce in. Are you ready to go, Luce?
Ready.
You're ready?
Yeah.
How are you feeling today?
All good, thanks. Excited
Good.
to talk to everyone, and good to see that there's some people from Canterbury who are interested. It's really exciting.
Awesome. Yay, that's awesome. Just to reiterate, Luce was one of our summer clerks over the summer just been. She's summer clerked in our banking and finance team and our corporate commercial team, and is going to return to us next year as a law graduate in the corporate commercial team, which is very exciting. And she's also a student at University of Canterbury. So if you have any questions after this, I'm going to volunteer her to be hunted down, and I'm sure she'll be able to answer them for you.
Of course.
Awesome. I'm keen to hear Lucy. I've prepped Lucy with a few questions beforehand, so we'll go through them and see what she has to say. But keen to hear about what your most memorable experience was from your summer clerkship at Dentons.
Yeah, there are so many memorable experiences. I think socially, just like, it sounds like such a little thing, but going out for coffee with your team every day and like meeting such interesting people who have done really cool things in their careers and their lives. Like, I loved that. In terms of the work, something that was so memorable was actually the opportunity I had to go and sit in a client meeting with a client that was actually a listed company, which I thought was so cool. As like a newbie, I was like, wow, this is such a novelty. And they were really interesting people, and I got to listen in and understand what was going on. And then I actually got work to do for that same matter afterwards. So it was quite rewarding, and I definitely felt like I had a good involvement in that, which was pretty amazing as a summer clerk that I had the opportunity. So that was something I'll never forget.
Yeah, awesome. And I guess kind of like touching on that as well, like what surprised you most about your summer clerkship?
Oh, yeah, kind of along the same lines. I was really surprised by how much, I guess, responsibility and trust was placed in me as such a young person. Everyone really invested in making sure that I had work to do and that the work was actually challenging for me, which is so cool. I think at Dentons, they really see your potential and they nurture that. So instead of sitting there and photocopying or stapling things, I was kind of scared what happens in the summer clerkship. I was actually drafting documents, going to meetings, reviewing contracts, doing these really interesting things that made the day go fast and made me feel like the work I was doing was important and also very interesting.
Awesome. I'm really pleased to hear that. And then, so I guess you've almost just answered this question already, but did the summer clerkship experience that you had at Dentons change any preconceived ideas you had about practicing law in any way?
Yeah, I guess I was a bit nervous that I was, going into a big law firm. I thought, are people going to be approachable, or is everyone going to be way too smart and, difficult to talk to? But everyone was so lovely, and the atmosphere was so supportive, and sounds a bit cliche, but the team, really takes you under their wing and makes sure that you're happy there and that you've got work to be doing. And that was just such a breath of fresh air, to be honest. Like, it made it go so smoothly for me. Whenever I had a question, I could ask my buddy or someone else, and people would go literally above and beyond to help me, which was so nice. I felt like I was taken great care of. So that was
Lucy actually had people fighting over who got to be her buddy. They were emailing me, can I please be Lucy's buddy? Awesome, thanks, Liz. And the last thing I just wanted to ask was, if you had to sum up your summer clerk experience in one sentence, what would it be?
Okay, I'm going to freestyle this one because I don't really know. So an opportunity that was really good fun, really challenging, and made me want to do more.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Really awesome to hear from you and about your experience. And yeah, I know from chatting to you that it was a great experience, and I think the rest of your cohort felt the same way. So that's really pleasing for us to hear. I will pass back to you, Tash, to touch on why Dentons KUS.
Cool, thanks. And it was awesome to hear from you, Lucy. Thanks for sharing. So why choose Dentons Kensington Swan? I mean, I could talk for hours, but I'll keep it short. So as I mentioned, we are a global law firm, but we are nationally run. So we do get the best of both worlds, including access to a network of lawyers across the world. As a medium-sized firm, you will get the opportunity to get to know everyone in the office. So our size does allow for that one-on-one mentoring and interactions with teams, including the partners. So the partners will get to know you. You'll have access to a plethora of learning development offerings. So our, and you know, sometimes these offerings do sit outside of the topic of law. So for example, our recent Summer Clerks were able to take part in our Rainbow 101 training, which was awesome. And as a Summer Clerk, which Lucy has just shared, you will get valuable experience from day one. So you won't be printing, you'll get the opportunity to start building connections with clients and get to work closely and learn from more senior members of the team. We also have a generous employee benefits. So that includes a $1,000 clothing allowance for Summer Clerks, so that you're set up and ready with the right gear for when you start. And we do have heaps of awesome social events, including Christmas party and Friday Fives, which is drinks on a Friday to connect with others in the office. And our Summer Clerks are paid over the Christmas New Year break. So I'll keep it to that, but if you are interested in hearing anything more, please get in touch with us. We'll be really happy to have a conversation with you. You're on mute, Sam.
Okay, I'll try again with people being able to hear me. All I said was that we are happy to take questions now, and I have received one, so I'll get to that while others think about what they might like to ask. I have a question that says, with the offering of positions after the clerkships, if you have another year and a half left at uni, does Dentons offer positions for the middle of the year instead of the start of the year? We have actually just done this for one person. I think our ideal situation is that you start at the beginning of the year with the rest of the cohort, and the only reason for that is that it can get a little bit, I don't want to use the word messy, but you do kind of end up not particularly with one cohort, you end up sort of in the middle of two different cohorts. I think the opportunity that we gave to the person that we just did this for recently was she could join in the middle of the year by herself, or she could wait until the following year and join with the next cohort. So it's definitely not off the cards entirely. We'd be happy to discuss that with you on a more one-on-one basis. Our general stance is that you kind of join 1 year after you Summer Clerk, but we're not going to, completely cross people off the list because they can't make that work.
And we sometimes have other opportunities throughout the year as well, not necessarily as a law grad, but something else. Yeah, just putting that one out there.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Did anyone else have any questions? No? As I said, happy to talk to anyone after this presentation if you think of things, or if you just don't feel comfortable asking questions in front of everyone. You can email me, or you could just, I'm on LinkedIn. So I know LinkedIn is a little bit, nerdy, but definitely a good way to kind of get in touch about these type of things. And I'm very happy to message you via LinkedIn and have a chat and answer any questions. obviously I'm here in the office and able to talk to any of the teams. If you wanted to kind of me to ask them some more specific questions about the work that they do, I'm very happy to do that. And any recruitment questions I can answer. So yes. Any word from you on that, Tash?
No, that was great. Thanks. Yeah, and I mean, we'll leave it there. It was really awesome talking with you all today and sharing a bit more about our firm, and hope you got some real value out of hearing from some of our own lawyers.
Yeah, and thank you so much to Lucy and Lauren for joining us. I know you're both very busy, so really appreciate it and enjoy hearing from you. It was really nice to hear.
Thank you. It was fun.
It was fun. As you can all see, Lucy's like a celebrity on the screen. Awesome. Thank you, Lauren and Lucy. Thanks, Tash. Thanks, Nell.
It was really good to have you here. Thanks for giving us your time, and thanks to all the attendees for signing in today. It's been a really great session.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good afternoon.
You
See
too.
you.
Bye.
Bye.